Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Look, this is tool week, and I'm out here trying to dig a hole. This is a great tool for digging a hole. In fact, if I use this tool right, I'll be able to dig the hole that will allow me to plant a tree with a breeze. I mean, it'll be so easy. Let me explain this to you. I'll get a little bit closer. So, tools are something that can be used for good purposes or they can be used for bad purposes. It's all up to how you use them. And that's why even the idea of digging is something that has two sides to it. You know, there's a psalm that talks about digging. It's Psalm 7. And in Psalm 7, around verses 14 and 15, and maybe even into 16, it talks about how a fool or an evil person lives. And it talks about how evil people devise evil and they plan evil in their heart. And it says they dig a hole, they dig a well, and then they fall into it themselves because evil does not prosper. See, you can take this same tool and use it for good purposes or use it for evil purposes. And that's the way most of the world. You can take our knowledge of how an atom can be divided and nuclear fission can occur. And that can be a positive. It can be used for everything from medical devices and power plants, but it can also be a negative. It can be used for bombs and used to radiate and kill people. So you can take the same tool and use it for good or bad purposes. And the point of the psalm is that when we do things with an evil heart, we can take even the best tools and the best ideas, but with an evil heart, they're going to turn sour. You dig the well and you fall into it yourself. There's a saying that I would love to think I came up with, but I don't think I came up with it. I just don't remember where it came from. But it's really good. It says, you cannot practice vice virtuously. In other words, you can't go around doing things for evil reasons and for bad reasons and expect to be doing it with virtue and in a good way. It's going to come back and it's going to bite you. Now, I'm not suggesting that we always do good only because we don't want the negative consequences of evil. There's a more mature reason to do good, to bring glory to God, to be an example for God. There's lots of reasons we want to do good other than the fact we don't want the evil that's going to come from doing evil. But that doesn't change the fact that you reap what you sow. And that if you're sowing in evil ways, you're going to reap in evil. But you can take the same tools that can be used for evil and use them for good. You could dig a well with virtue, and you could use that well to satisfy the thirst of the thirsty, to irrigate crops for the hungry. You could do a lot of good things with it. So where does this leave me today, Wednesday of Tool Day? Well, aside from the fun of getting to play in an excavator, it leaves me urging you to look at the tools in your life today and figure out how you can use them for good purposes with a pure heart. Don't go letting those tools be used as a means of your evil intents. Don't try to practice vice virtuously. It won't work. But to the glory of God, use the tools at your disposal today to dig deep into His goodness and how you can share that goodness with others. That's your challenge. That's your video thought for the day. Come back for Tool Time Thursday, which we'll have tomorrow. See ya.